What is going on, Guardians, and welcome back to another Destiny gameplay video. Hey, in this video, we're going to be talking about what we're going to be seeing as we settle into the new meta of the Crucible. Now, let me just start off by saying that this next season of the Crucible doesn't look like it's going to be too dramatically different from the previous one. Nothing was shaken up super dramatically. There were some minor adjustments to some primary weapons and some under-the-radar specials. The most significant thing about this update was the sniper rifle changes, and it seems like those changes are only going to speed up some of the engagements in the Crucible. So, that being said, there are a couple of things I do want to call attention to. Now, in front of me you see two red glares of sniper rifles of guys who are hard-scoping this stairway, this tight bottleneck, looking to get a pick. Now, here's what's different. This used to be a death sentence, but I can pop off two quick rounds, pop, right, and get a couple of these snipers flinched, and then I can re-engage, and their shot's a little bit whack, and in the time that they're trying to figure out, well, am I going to stay hard-scoped, am I going to switch to my primary, whatever, in that amount of time, I'm already punishing them by peppering them with primary shots. Now, talking about primaries, I do predict that our legendary hand cannons are going to be considerably strong in the Crucible going forward. So, I think that with their ability to flinch hard scopers, and they were already, in my opinion, on top in terms of primary weapons in the previous meta before a couple days ago when we got that update, and even moving forward, looking at Thorn getting a nerf, and I think that means that these guns, these legendary hand cannons with the right rolls, they're going to be on top. And they're going to continue to be on top for a while. That is my prediction. So, if you really want to be effective in the Crucible, and you haven't already done so, let me advise you, try to get good with a hand cannon. Practice your target acquisition with these things. It'll pay off, trust me. The buffs to other primary weapons were minimal. There were a couple of buffs, but they're really nothing to rave about, generally speaking. So these guns were already really good. They will continue to be really good. They hit really hard. And with Bungie sort of being backed into a corner about ghost bullets and accuracy, we may even see them start to get even more consistent if Bungie does decide to address the masses in their cries for more consistent hit registration with hand cannons. So, be prepared to deal with a legendary hand cannon meta. And if that means getting good with them, you may have to do that if you want to compete. But there are other primaries out there that can hold their ground and hold their own. So I'm not saying that these are the only effective weapons in the primary class. I'm not saying that at all. But moving on to shotguns, this was that opening Phantom medal in real time. You see, just rapidly chewing through people with a shotgun. These shotguns, these high-end shotguns, okay? We're talking Matador 64. We're talking Party Crasher +1. We are talking Felwinter's Lie. These things were never weak. They never have been. I don't anticipate they ever will be. Okay, even with the nerfs to shotguns in the past, and I've seen some people who they fall off the log on one side or the other. They are a shotgun main or they are a sniper main. I've heard a lot of shotgun mains say, "Oh, it's about time we got a sniper nerf." Shotguns have been the bad guys and been the recipients of too many nerfs, and finally we get one that just addresses the sniper rifles. Look, I get it, I do, but I'm not gonna say that shotguns are OP, because I don't think that they are. I'm just saying that there are a select few that are on top that consistently and dramatically outperform the others. And it nearly alienates the overwhelming majority of shotguns in the game. Most of them you don't see in PvP. And if you do, it's people who are deliberately handicapping themselves, or they just don't have a great rolled Party Crasher, Matador, or Felwinter. Now, I'm not raging or crying for a nerf. All I'm saying is that Bungie has consistently said, look, we don't want any select few, one or two things to be the clear front runners and everything else to be basically useless in comparison. And so that's why they targeted LDR, longbow synthesis, right? According to their own data, those things were on top. That's what everybody was farming for, getting, and using. So I'm just going to say be prepared in the future, shotgun users. You may see just these select few shotguns get a maybe even slight reduction to damage or range. You're talking singular percentages, 1%, 2%. You may see that. Is it going to shake things up too dramatically? Probably not. But sometimes things look worse on paper, and it forces people to change because they overreact to small numbers on a piece of paper that they interpret as being pretty big changes. Just saying. So, shotguns, are they strong? These ones on top, absolutely. These shotguns on top are going to continue to be really, really powerful in the Crucible, especially if you're using a high-impact primary where you can stagger or flinch someone who's trying to play the range game, move up on them, get in shotgun range, and finish them off before they really have time to do a significant amount of damage to you, unless they're really using their equipment and primaries in conjunction with each other well, okay? You can definitely counter a charging shotgunner, but a good shotgunner is tough to counter when they're playing all their cards right. So, expect to see more aggressive shotgunning. Also, I'm going to be honest, I love Plan C, and I loved using Plan C yesterday as I played in the new Crucible setting, and it seemed to be doing really, really well. I got some pretty massive kill streaks and pretty big games using my Plan C, and I think you may see a little bit more of the fusion rifles as well. I think faster gameplay, close quarters combat, you may see a lot more of that. Also, considering we saw submachine guns could potentially be coming to Destiny in the very near future. So CQC may be a bigger factor in the Crucible. It all depends on map design with the new maps as well, what the sightlines are going to look like. We've seen those maps, and they do have some longer sightlines sort of on the edges, and we'll see how it plays out. So these are just some of my predictions, guys. What are yours? I look forward to hear your opinions, and guys, I will catch you in the Crucible.